How's it going, everyone? We're here to check out the top skins submitted this week. If you're new and don't know how this all works, I start out with my personal top 10 picks of which ones I think should be in, then we move on to the rest of the skins that were submitted and qualify for the week. But this does not mean any of these skins will make it in for sure, and if they're skipped, they most likely will, well, just be skipped, unless they're part of a very popular set. 8 to 10 or so skins make it in every week, and they're picked by the game's creator and lead dev, Helk, and that's pretty much how it works. So, let's jump into my top 10. First up, we've got the SWAT hoodie and pants. As you can see, it's just got that very nice tactical look, dark coloring to help blend in the dark, and it's just that kind of thing that everyone likes. It's got some good tactical look to it, very military-esque, with that SWAT, and that's the kind of thing that sells well in Rust usually. Next, we've got this really crazy awesome sculpted set, the Raid Roach by Cubist. And as you can see, it's a giant cockroach costume made out of high qual, and it's just really well done. I mean, the textures on every little bit of it are just so detailed and creepy and crazy well done that this is, of course, an easy top 10. Next, we can move on to our deployables, and first up, we've got the Components Flash box, and this is kind of a reigniting of a box set. A lot of you guys are asking for another box set, and I think this one has a cool idea. It's kind of like a, what do you call it? A not see-through. I'm looking for that, it's got that fogged kind of plastic look there. The opacity and so forth. You can kind of see that there's components and gears and stuff laying all around there and some springs. It's definitely a fun idea, and it lights up really well at night. Next, we have the Prison Sheet Metal Door. This has two versions, one with and without the giant transparency hole. This might be a little too big, but hey, one way or another, this is just a really cool door, and I can see a lot of people really liking it. And there is a version that doesn't have the transparency, so that could also have a good chance as well. Moving on, you all keep asking for double doors, so here's the best double door this week, in my opinion, the Watchers of Doom double door. This set has been selling really well with inspirations from both Lord of the Rings and Doom itself. They kind of combined them both and made this Doom of Sauron kind of thing, and it's been vibing pretty well with a lot of people, so I could easily see this one selling very well this week. Moving on, we've got a garage door for you, and this one is all techie and crazy. It's the Biker's Hellgate, and yeah, you've got this like crazy chrome skull and gears and chains and everything going on. There's even some light on the roller, which is always a super plus, but you can tell a lot of work went into sculpting this one, and it looks really cool. And of course, it has a very, very awesome glow. And we'll finish by taking a nice little circle around the box there. Alright, and last but not least, we have our weapons, and our first one up here is going to be the fish crossbow, and I just love how the actual bow is two fishing poles, and it's just, I love it. It's a really cool design, it looks amazing, and this has always been a popular set for the memes, and a lot of people really love it, so, you know, I could really actually see this one doing quite well. Moving on, we have the Patina MP5, and yeah, it just has this kind of crazy color look to it. It almost, the body and the shape kind of almost reminds me of like an insect, like a grasshopper carapace or something, and then you've just got these really cool kind of colors going on. I think Shaft did a really good job with it, and as you can see, there's also some cut sights. Not completely cut, but cut enough to make a difference there. Moving on, we do have an AR for you this week, and this one is all scaled up. It's the Deep Monster by Zimic, and yeah, these scales are just so beautifully done. It's not just painted on, they look sculpted, the barnacles look like they're sticking up, and they've just done a really good job on it. Now, I do wish there was a little bit more of a differentiation between the different greens. As you can see, there are different greens on the site. There's the darker versus the more chrome and bright, but depending on the light, it's really kind of hard to tell on that, unfortunately, there. Last but not least of our top 10, we've got the Deserted L96, and this thing just looks really, really cool. You've got this beautiful kind of color thing going on with the flames, but it also looks worn and torn and used up. You have the exposed bullets in the mag, and, well, it's more of a clip there, but you get what I'm saying. And even aiming down the sides, there's a little bit of detail. There's kind of like a vents thing going on there. So that does it for our top 10. Let's go ahead and take a look at all the other great submissions this week. Alright, so starting off with our clothing here, we've got the Necronomicon boonie hat and bandana. And yeah, as you can see here, you've got some eyes and stitching, all the usual stuff you'll see with that kind of fleshy book of the damned. And some of it back here, I'm not sure about what that material is. It looks like maybe it's demon hide or something, who knows. One way or another, very creepy. Alright, next up we've got a burlap set for you, and this also comes in a a short sleeve t-shirt and shorts version. But yeah, here it is. You've got the commuter t-shirt and pants, and yeah, we had the actual burlap head wrap that looked like a bicycle helmet that matches right with this, so I could maybe see this also popping in if Helk continues to like this set. Next up, we've got the Fishing Season bandana and poncho by VHS tonight. And yeah, it's just got this really fun little net thing going on. There's a big old giant fishing hook, and then you've got various kind of lures and tackles. You've got some bobbers there. There's even a fish strapped along the shoulder. And yeah, then you've got kind of like a matching little bandana to go along with it, and then it has the fishing division there written on the sides. Next up, we have ourselves another bandana poncho combo. It's the Desert Ranger set, and as you can see, it has kind of this old torn kind of man, I'm forgetting what the exact type of fabric this is called, but I want to say it's like a kind of like it was Aztec kind of design. I may be wrong there. Definitely like the little fringes on the shoulders and around the edges as well. And it kind of brings, a little bit of extra detail to kind of what's obviously meant to be a low-key set. Next up, we've got a continuation with the Kitchen Warfare with the hide shirt and pants. Continuing along with that kind of Roman look, but we've got tablecloths and placemats to make up the red and white. And then you've got various can lids and spoons and forks and various other things, even some napkins sewn on in there, continuing along with this set's theme. Next, we have the Cyclist set by Milo Frito, and as you can see, it is a t-shirt and shorts. So there we go, we've got another t-shirts, shorts kind of combo, and this one also has kind of like a neon green thing going on, that very kind of standing out for cycling. Next, we've got a jacket for you, and it's the Polar Fear Jacket version 2 by Vase, and the whole thing just looks like a bloody old snow jacket made of polar bear pieces. Maybe there's even some wolves in there, I don't know. I think it's mostly just polar bear. You've got a big old blood print drawn up on there, and even some pieces of what are definitely polar bear paws. So there you have that. Next up, we've got the Renegade version 2 road sign gloves and boots, and these are made up of the same kind of stuff, scrap and junk. There's even some bloodied old bones put on in there, like the detail of that. Checking down at the boots, you can see it is all a bunch of scrap metal. There's some gold chains and paint and fabric all over it, just like the rest of the set. I think a lot of people have liked this set, so finishing up would definitely be a huge plus this week. Alright, moving on to armor, we've got the Fireworks road sign kit by Kira for you. And as you can see, it kind of has like a fabric overlay on the road sign pieces, and then just little pows and bangs of little firework explosions here and there. It's definitely a fun little design, for sure. Next up, we've got a continuation, the Venomous set with the road sign armor. As you can see, it continues that same red to green scale going through the colors there. Across the road sign armor, nothing really too modified except a lot of bullet holes and scratches here and there. Next we have the art vest by Algorithm, and it's pretty much just a splattering of paint. We've seen a lot of different sets like this pop in and out throughout the workshop, and yeah, we've seen maybe a couple make their way in. I'm not too sure if we have anyone that looks exactly like this one, but kind of the same kind of idea. But again, it's decently executed, and a lot of people like the colorful stuff nowadays. Moving on to our high qual, we've got the MK Ultra Metal high qual set, and with it you've got a crazy screaming face and weird things going on with organs. I don't even know what's going on there, and of course an exposed brain, and they kind of made the straps look like a tube that connects into it, which I think is a fun little idea as well. Next we've got the Night Ghost set by Sad Happy, and we did just get a set like this in the shop, so chances for another one this soon would probably be pretty rare, but you never know. It's definitely well done, and this has more of a kind of fabric look to the plate carrier and mask, so there is that one. Last but not least, we've got the White Core Face Mask version 2, and yeah, this has got this kind of like integrated skull into the face mask with some snow camo, a white plate carrier, and yeah, a lot of people definitely love this for the fact that it is another snow camo set, and skulls tend to sell really well, so there you have that kind of combo. I think this one could do pretty decently if it were to make it in the shop. But that does it for our armors, and let's move on to our deployables, not weapons yet. Alright, so first up in our deployables we have some sleeping bags. First one here is going to be the Sweet Dream sleeping bag, and I don't know, a lot of people have arachnophobia, and a spider with all this red and a skull on its abdomen is definitely kind of creepy. So good luck actually having sweet dreams. Moving on, we've got the Scout sleeping bag by Wagon, and as you can see, all the badges are actual like rust achievements, and I think that's a fun little idea, and they've just done a really good job with the detail to everything with this one. Moving on, we've got ourselves another hot dog sleeping bag, and yeah, here it is by Kua, and well, there's been many hot dogs and few have made it in. Moving along, we've got ourselves the Haunted Small Box, and it has a very kind of old iron, wrought iron kind of look to it, which is quite nice. Then moving on to our large boxes, the first one here is the Psychic large box, reminiscent of those old psychic neon signs you can see around in some places. Moving on, we've got a very kind of industrial box with the Space Gun box, to be specific there. Then moving on, we've got a continuation in Bullet Hell with the large box. And last but not least, the Eco Life box. Moving on, we have some furnaces. First one up is going to be the Scrap Furnace. As you can see, the whole thing pretty much lights up. We'll be able to kind of show that better at night, of course, here shortly. And then we have ourselves the Firmament Furnace? Yep. And as you can see, it looks like one of those kind of like little porcelain decorations that has the lights that pop all up through, which I think is quite nice of a design. Alright, and next we also have a concrete barricade for you this week. It is the military one. And yeah, wow, we've seen a lot of actual ones get accepted lately, so this could have a chance. And it has some nice little kind of peekies, so you could technically crouch behind this and still see through it, which is quite an interesting idea. Moving on, we've got some rugs. The first one here is going to be the Get Out rug. And yeah, as you can see, it's a little neon sign, and I think a lot of people would like this as a decoration for the base. Then next we have the Childhood Guns rug, which, yeah, it looks like a big old gun rack, but they're all just sticks. Definitely a funny little idea. Moving on, we've got the Infernal Wooden Door by Little Ranger. It's our only wooden door this week. It continues his new Infernal set, as you can see there. Moving on, we've got another edition of a soundproof door, and it's simply just called, well, soundproof door. Moving along, we've got ourselves another door here for you. It is the Neon Bunker sheet metal door. It has two different versions. One that has some transparency, which is this one here, as you can see through the little cracks here and there. Then we've got a little robot friend over here with the sheet metal Rusty Bot door. Some very cool sculpting. Then some more awesome sculpting with the Astral Metal door by Ideal. We've got some neat little artwork and some scrap design with the Ancient Monument by Anathan. Nice little dome design. Moving on, we've got Shock Sheet Metal Door version 2 without the clatter helm and a big old minigun right in your face. Then we've got the Hacker door by Jessen. Another double door for you, the Bike Race. And the Junkernaut door, two versions, one with and one without the transparency. I've got two little holes here. This is probably another safe bet to see for this week, since this set seems to be seeing a lot of accepts consistently. Moving on, we've got some really cool sculpting here with our first garage door, which is the Block Post garage door. Then we've got ourselves a Vintage Kingdom. Then the Meow Base, Crystal, and Battle for Centuries garage doors. So we'll kill our lights here, and man, this one just lights up really cool. Love that little design. Some great glow on this one too. There's just really, really good garage doors this week. If we go ahead and take a look at the back there, we have our rugs, both glow. Really love the kind of like nightlight, comforting kind of feeling this one gives off, you know? As I said, this one just lights completely up, as you can see. And then we've got our boxes. Only this side glows, actually. And we've got a little bit of glow on the scout bag with the little glow sticks. And then, of course, the spider has to light up as well. Alright, let's jump into those tools and weapons. And first up, we've got the Ruby Hammer for you. And it's simply just a nice ruby encased in some steel and turned into a hammer. May look like it glows, but it does not. Then we have the Biker Hammer for you. Hot rods and gears and pieces, and there's even kind of like a glowing core going on with it. Definitely a very cool effect. Moving on, we then have some rocks for you. First one here is going to be the Silver Rock. Definitely very shiny. Then that's followed up by the Metal Rock. Very also shiny. And last but not least, the Coffee Bean Rock by Keck. Then we got ourselves some stone tools, a single set actually this week, the Heavy Welding set. And it just looks like these very, very heavy pieces of steel welded together with some included rhinestoning on the handle there. And then of course we have our matching pick to go along with it, all chrome and shiny. Moving on, we've got some metal tools for you as well, and this one has a very kind of like hypnotizing kind of look to it. And well, of course, it is the Waves hatchet and pickaxe. Then moving on to that, we've got ourselves a sword, if it will come out. Hey, there it is. the neon wire blade, to be specific. We did see a door get accepted, so hey, some more life is in the neon wire set. Maybe we'll see the salvage sword pop in as well. Moving on, we've got a crossbow for you this week, and it is part of the Ronin set, so this could be an easy accept as well, as this set has always been popular, and most of its pieces have made its way into the game. That samurai kind of Ronin black and red just seems to appeal to a lot of people very well. Moving on, we've got some pump shotguns for you. First one here is going to be the Anarchist 60s pump shotgun, and the whole thing just has that old school kind of cartoon look to it from, well, of course, the 60s. So there you have that. Now, it is a little bit similar to the comic set, so I don't know if that might hurt this one. Aiming down the sides here, you do have gray versus grays, because, well, everything's gray. Next, we've got the Purple Fire pump shotgun as our other one this week, and it has, well, purple fire on a white body, and then it has kind of like this tattoo art, and you got skulls and roses kind of going on. Aiming down the sides, you've got that big old flashy purple and a nice purple tip to match along with the design. Next, we've got some pistols for you. The first one's going to be the Boar Hunter Ioka. Whole thing looks like it has boar fur and tusks all along it. There we go. Man, that one got me for the words. Next, we've got a python, the Laser Python, and look at this. I love what they did with the actual, like, middle there. It's just crazy. So when you look from behind, it has a very unique look, and then when you actually reload the chamber, like, it's just crazy. I don't know with a edited chamber like that if it's going to be accepted, but hey, one way or another, very, very cool. Then we got ourselves some saps, and the first one here is going to be the Murderous Filigree for you. And actually, this is the only sap. I forgot, it actually has two different versions. So if you look down in the description below, you can check out the alternate one, which is kind of more brown, kind of polymer look. And this also has kind of a gold and black tip going on for it as well. Then we've got a custom SMG for you, which is actually a Thompson, and it's the Royal Safari Thompson, guys. Boy, I'm just not doing well. But Royal Safari has also been an incredibly popular set, so I could very easily see this one shine its way on in this week. Moving on to our rifles, we've got the Ditto SAR for you to start off. This is also a good contender, as the Ditto set has also seen a lot of accepts lately and been doing quite well. Aiming down the sides, you have the usual aqua tips, and you've got some spooky eyes staring right back at you. Alright, moving on to our ARs. The first one here is going to be the AK-47 Renegade. This comes in stock and stockless version. You can see it's made out of old steel and old signs, and it's rusty and crusty and fits just right into the game. Aiming down the sights here, you've got a red, rusted, and partly black sight. Love the kind of chip paint thing going on there. Next, we've got a very bright one for you, the Club Security AR, and this whole thing just has a very kind of Miami Club thing going on with it. Aiming down the sides, you've got a neon yellow tip against that purple and blue. Next, we've got continuation in the Symbiote set with the AK version 2. As you can see, it's got that bright yellow kind of goo stretched across it and so forth. Aiming down the back, it almost looks like a creepy face, and you do have a nice red tip against the irons of the rest of the sight there. Moving on, our next AR is the Little Story AR, and it has a heavy, and there's this little comic kind of going on with them attacking, and this crazy kind of ghost guy with the deer helmet, and I think it's a very, very cool little design. At the end, you can see it doesn't go very good for the heavy there, and aiming down the sides, you've got a orangey kind of brick red against that flat black for our sides. Last but not least, we have the Tiger Stripes AK-47, and this is another set that has seen some popularity, so hey, maybe this will pop in as well. I love the kind of, it almost looks like a sunshine that's kind of reflecting off the top of it there, but it's really just a different shade of the colors with some added oranges, and it creates a really cool effect to the gun. Aiming down the sides here, you've got a very red sight against that orange and steel. And there we go for that reload. But that's going to do it, everybody, so sound off down in the comment section below which ones you are hoping to make it in this week the most and why. Any kind of feedback you have, I'll get it to the right people as always. Thanks for watching, and stay rusty.